Mike was in a state, horrid, awful, bumpy. Are you doing one of those self-assessments the small controller told driver about? Asked Bird. Certainly matches how I describe Mike's handling of coaches, chuckled Jock. It's not my handling. It's the wretched coaches themselves, Mike huffed. Never had such a terrible journey before. They need repairs. Or perhaps the passengers should ride in the trucks. A completely unbiased suggestion from the freight-loving engine, chortled Rex. Be sensible, Mike. The coaches were inspected before the season began. They're in peak condition. You, on the other hand. Mike turned bright red, while the other engines chuckled. The days passed, and Mike's mood worsened. He insisted the coaches were riding rough, but no one believed him. The more journeys he made, the crosser he grew. Finally, the small controller spoke severely to him. The passengers have complained, he scolded. You're bumping about and making too much smoke, which spoils their pictures. If you want to sulk, you can do it while pulling trucks. Of course, a small controller should have known this was far from punishment in Mike's eyes. Rex took over Mike's passenger runs. He relished the extra attention from the tourists who gave glowing reviews. He often saw Mike waiting in the loop with his trucks. I've never known coaches to run so smoothly, he grinned. Mike didn't care to answer, but he soon had the last laugh. One afternoon, Rex was bringing a full train up the line. The passengers were having a lovely time, and the sun shone on his brass. It's easy, Rex chortled. Poor old Mike. I do pity him for. He got no further. As they rounded a bend, there was clatter, a bounce, and a bump. Oh! Shrieked the coaches. Stop! Rex came to a sudden halt. His driver looked back. Bless me, he exclaimed. How'd that happen? One of the covered coaches sat crooked and derailed. The passengers were more surprised than hurt. The guard and driver quickly inspected the damage. What's happened? Asked Rex. The compensating bar and springs fell off the coach's bogie, explained the driver. Must not have been put back together properly when it was inspected. We're sitting ducks until Frank brings the workmen, said the guard. You might as well take the front coaches on to the top station. But, stammered Rex, what about the other passengers? Might I make a suggestion? Rex froze. In the confusion, he hadn't noticed Mike waiting in the loop. My trucks are empty, he grinned. You could always take the other passengers in them. It'd be a long walk otherwise. Rex harrowed, but the passengers thought it was a clever idea. Mike wasted no time. He ran around his trucks and pushed them in front of Rex. The passengers climbed aboard, and the two engines carried on up the line. The small controller was waiting at the top station. He apologized for the incident, but the passengers didn't mind. We weren't expecting a bumpy ride from the coaches, or a smooth one from the trucks. They chuckled. Your engines did well to put the trouble right. Well done, you two, congratulated the small controller. Perhaps we should have considered Mike's remarks about the truck sooner. Once the line is clear, you may take the passengers home. We've no spare coaches here, so you'll have to use the trucks again. No bother to me, sir, grinned Mike. But what do you say, Rex? Do you find the trucks to be in peak condition? In the presence of the small controller, Rex thought it best not to reply.